Hi everyone, welcome. Today's our second session in a four-part series where we talk about sport matters, and it is so important for us to consider that during this COVID-19 situation that we all need to find ways to be physically active through sport or some kind of exercise regime. And tonight I'm going to talk about how do you sustain an active or sporting lifestyle such that you can then be able to stay healthy, not just physically, but also mentally. So let us begin by talking about the most important things that I think when it comes to sustaining yourself. I think many of us have probably started some kind of exercise regime maybe in the initial part of the year. And then maybe due to COVID-19, we may have stopped exercising or doing sports due to the restrictions that was put on us. But things are opening up again. Businesses are, resuming at least parts of it. So the fact that your health is also important. In fact, I want to share with you today's newspaper article on Today News, and they were talking about, the challenges that you would face if you are stuck at home for too long. And the doctors are seeing some medical and health problems as a result of that. And then I'm going to talk about three major issues or the topics for today. Three self-motivation strategies. At the end of the day, you need to, find that fuel to be able to sustain and motivate yourself to exercise or do sports. And then we're going to talk about what are some of the science-based approaches to do that. The second topic, which is quite interesting, one of my favorites, is a mental hack used by Olympic athletes. And I'm going to share with you, proven ways that Olympic athletes who are able to go through difficult physical training and how they use their minds to be able to manage that pain or, maybe not pain due to injury, but pain due to the lactic acid in the body or the discomfort that they might feel as a result of that hard physical training. And I'm sure as you exercise, you are also going to be physically exerting yourself. So what are some ways that you can still manage the fatigue, manage the physical strain that you might get, but of course without getting injured, yeah? And then the third one is a major obstacle to exercise performance. And this is one area that a lot of times people are not aware. And this is, I just want to, keep it till the topic when I come to it, but it's a challenge or an obstacle for many people in terms of their ability to want to exercise. And there could be some underlying reason psychologically. So we'll look at that major obstacle. Just a hint on that, it's to do with sports medicine and things like that, okay, and things of the past. And then of course, if there are Q&A at the end of there's time for that, we'll have a short Q&A. I do have my little chat box there for me to type in or respond. And then if you have any questions, feel free to type in as I talk through. And any thoughts or ideas or questions you might have, just pop it in. I may not respond immediately, but I'll do my best at the end of the day, at least for sure. Yeah. And then there is a bonus for all of us who attend, and this bonus will last for 24 hours. Okay. So stay tuned and don't go away, because don't just come back only for the bonus. But I hope that you learned something along the way today. Yeah. Okay. So this was the article that I was just talking about that just came out. Well, the hard copy today, but it was published yesterday in the online. And The title of the article says, working from home can cause ill effects. May not be a sustainable arrangement, doctors say. So this is like, very intriguing. And when I looked further into it, it was quite interesting because it's related to what we're talking about today. So, I predicted this was going to happen. So doctors today spoke to said since the circuit breaker in April, they have seen at least 20% increase in patients who develop medical ailments that could be attributed to prolonged working from home. And the most common complaints are musculoskeletal pain, such as back aches and neck strain, well, partly because you sit down too long, and also migraine and tension headaches. So this is one negative side effect of not being physically active and being stuck at home for the longest time. Body aches are usually caused by inactivity or poor posture, right? And home offices have poor ergonomics. So a lot of times you're like in a cramped physical space, or you're in a situation where, you're just not feeling comfortable, but, you got no choice because you got to squeeze with your kids or your wife or your husband or your whoever that's in the house, and you just have to make do, right? So in adapting to that, your body has also, suffered some physical ailments because of that. And here's the thing, prolonged inactivity due to this COVID situation, right, causes poor blood circulation and muscular knots, which result in pains and aches. And this is also made worse by imbalanced positions from poor posture. So here you have a good example of the current situation many of us are in. And the challenge for us right now is that we need to exercise, we need to do more sports. And, some of you are like, yeah, I don't want to do, I'm not motivated. So today, hopefully, I'm gonna, share with you some tips. Yeah. And these are all science-based, research-backed strategies or tips. Okay. All right. So let's get started with the first topic. So, based on this very powerful theory, based on research in sport and exercise and physical activity called the self-determination theory. And this theory basically says that for people to be motivated to do anything they want, in fact, this theory doesn't just apply to sport or exercise or fitness. It can apply to many things in our lives. So here's the benefit of this little topic here. And that they found that when people are motivated, self-motivated, that means they are self-driven and they are able to persist for the long period or the midterm to long-term periods. And they found that they had certain qualities associated with that kind of behavior. And these are the three things that this theory or this research basically looked at. They found that people who were self-motivated had a lot of autonomy, meaning to say they are in full control of what they're doing. They have a lot of choice and they consciously choose the things that they want to do, not the things that they are forced upon. The second motivational factor is that self-motivated people do find ways to be competent. That means they find ways to become better. They find ways to achieve their targets or their fitness or exercise goals. And when they do so, they feel more motivated to want to continue. So competence is about your ability to sustain yourself through achievement of goals that you set for yourself. Now, having said that, a lot of times, or for many of us right now in this current situation, we may not be at the fittest state because of our lack of physical activity over the past few months. So because of this, our goal sometimes when we set may also be a little bit too far stretched. And as such, lead us to not, feeling motivated after a while. You might start doing something or start exercising or doing some sports. But you find yourself after a while, it's like, you don't feel like you're getting anywhere. You don't feel like you're achieving anything. And as such, you find yourself just demotivated as such. So the goals then become seemingly too difficult for you to achieve or accomplish, and therefore you tend to give up. So being too overly ambitious also could potentially be one reason that people sometimes just fall off the wayside. Don't get me wrong, they do set goals, they want to achieve, but somehow they didn't quite get the formula right, or that mix of goals and the achievement of goals right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to achieve that. And then the third one is about relatedness. It's about being connected with the people around you that are important to you, to support you, to help you, and even in some cases, people who are knowledgeable about the topic area of choice, so that you can then seek their advice and find ways to, get encouragement, get advice, get feedback, and things like that, so that it will help your competence and your achievement of goals that you set. So I give you some strategies for each one of these three strategies. Okay. So look at the top there. You'll see the blue, the dark blue, the light blue later, and the light green ones associated with each of these factors or strategies. So the first one is really, I mean, it's so simple, but sometimes we forget that you want to find things that you enjoy doing. I mean, who in the right mind would do things that they don't like, right? But you'd be surprised because people say, hey, I want to get fitter. And therefore, yeah, just do something like anything. And so in their choice of their exercise or physical activity, they might choose the thing that actually they don't like. So if you don't like running, okay, or jogging for whatever physical reason or mental reason, not that you have a mental problem, no, you just don't like it for whatever reason, find something else. There are other things you can still do without running or jogging. I mean, you could, do brisk walking, or you could do biking. You can do other things, that don't really do that particular activity, but create some variety. So find things that you really enjoy and explore those things that even that you've not done before. I mean, if you think about it, we all get excited when we get a new car, we get a new phone, anything that's new. Generally, as a human being, we have this interest, yeah, or a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, that kind of thing. But after a while, you find that if there's nothing new inserted into a relationship or inserted into a product, right? That's why products are always constantly upgraded, right? And updated, because they want to excite you to continue to use their product. So people who have already designed all these motivational strategies are already in there, in there, excuse me, in terms of the way they manage these products and services. But a lot of times we don't do the same thing for ourselves. So here's a simple tip. Find something you like and do things that interest you. And if you don't even know, just give it a shot, give it a try, right? Test it out. If you don't like it, it's okay. You just swap, change, do something else that you might find interesting. So idea is that autonomy is the psychology of choice, and that you choose what you like, and at the same time you feel good about that choice. Okay, so that's one. The second major strategy is competence. Competence is about the achievement and the ability that you have, that as you go through that activity, you find that you're good at it, or you find that you're able to accomplish something. So if you think about it, for most people, when they do things like their hobbies generally are self-motivating. You don't need to kind of push people to do things. And gaming, for example, knitting for some people, or working with the plants. I mean, anything, right? Just talking about normal hobbies. We all have hobbies that, when we do it, if you think about it in your own personal experience, they are very easy to accomplish, because the goals that we set for ourselves generally are achievable. And for most hobbies, at the end of the day, people generally feel a sense of accomplishment at the end of that little period or session. So, guess what? That same motivational strategy can be applied to exercise and physical activity. Simple, isn't it? But the problem is, a lot of times we tend to set goals that are a little bit higher than we are able to. So right now, for example, and let's be realistic about this, that many of us are maybe not as physically fit because of the inactivity for the past few months, to be fair, right? So if you set a high or difficult goal, what's going to potentially happen is that if you don't accomplish that goal, you're going to feel demotivated. You're going to feel, underachieving. And that doesn't make you feel good. And that definitely doesn't give you a sense of competence in achieving that goal, in that fitness goal or sport goal. So when you try to do something in this sport or exercise or fitness arena, set smaller achievable goals. In fact, those goals should be small, short term, just like a hobby. Every hobby you try to figure out something and you do something, right? And then you accomplish that, you feel good. Tomorrow you try again. So there's a likelihood of you sustaining that activity if you set smaller, reasonable, achievable goals. Okay, so downsize your goals. If you find that your goals you're not achieving it within a week. Okay, here's a little guide here. Again, everyone's different, but this is just a general, broad guide. If you find that you set a goal for yourself and you've not been able to achieve it in a week, and let's say you do this, as 2 or 3 times a week, right, in fitness and related. Maybe it could be a distance, it could be a timing, it could be a number of repetitions, whatever it might be, right? And if that goal is too difficult, then in a week, if you're not achieving it, that means that goal is too difficult. So very simply, just downsize it. Just think of this concept. If you're going to take a flight of steps, right? And the flight of steps has, let's say, 10 steps, right? And you try to achieve from step 1 to 10 at one single jump. Unless you're Superman or Supergirl, right? Probably you're going to fall down at step 6 or 7, all right? And not be able to get any further than that, right? So that's because the goal was too difficult. So simply downsize. How do you get up there? One step at a time. So break it down into smaller bite-sized goals and work on it. Okay? And the second one is every time you achieve a small win, every moment, every day, every session, celebrate that success. Find ways to celebrate and take joy from what you do. So that way you create positive association with the activity and makes you feel good. So therefore your brain is gonna say, hey, you know what? I succeeded yesterday. I want to do it again. And there's this nice good feeling as a result of that. And that then continues to fuel your activity, which then will make you likely to continue on and move on. And that's where the motivation is sparked and sustained. Okay? So that's the second simple tips for the second strategy. The third strategy is to work with people. Now, in this theory, they say that relatedness here means that you have people around you to support you. You have social support. You have friends. You have exercise buddies, your kakis to help you or work with you, train with you, play with you, run with you, bike with you, swim, whatever it is with you, right? They're there to support you and encourage you. And you also can kind of spar with each other, not fighting, but work on each other to motivate and to inspire each other, right? However, while that is great, I mean, nothing bad with that, yeah. So if you have that, please do that. If you don't have that, please go find people to help you, right? There are lots of fitness interest groups, clubs, and I'm sure they'll be happy because these are all people with that same passion and interest in that particular area, yeah. So find those groups. And also, if you find that, you know what, I'm not so good technically in this skill or ability, or I need someone to really push me, right? But I don't want someone to exercise with me in that sense because I feel that maybe this person, might judge me and things like that. So if you want someone else who's trained to be able to help you and support you in motivating you to take on an active and healthier lifestyle, you may want to consider a certified active lifestyle motivation coach, or what we call calm coaches, right? These calm coaches are the ones who will support you and help you, give you advice, inspire you, motivate you, and even give you information about what is stopping you or the obstacles that's holding you back. Yeah. So if you want more information about that, I'll be happy to share that at the end of the session. And I do have a referral network who can support you and help you in this journey. Yeah. But more importantly, know that exercise and sport and active lifestyle for motivational reasons typically require some support. Because if you don't have it as part of your habit, right? If it's not a lifestyle habit for you, then you need a little bit of extrinsic motivation outside of you to keep you going. So hopefully these 3 tips will give you some simple ideas and practical tips for you to get going. Okay? So find autonomy, control, and choice, and the things you like. Competence, find ways to achieve success by breaking down the goals and making it bite-sized and achievable. And then relatedness refers to finding people, social support, or even people who know what this is about to support you and help you to give you advice or technical knowledge. Okay? So that's one. The second one, this is the mental hack used by Olympians to go through the tough, difficult daily training that they must go through every single day to kind of tong or to tahan to be able to handle and sustain themselves so that they can improve their fitness and their skills. So this is a powerful strategy, and I need your participation. I need your participation for this one because this is a webinar, so I need you to do something and not just sit there and listen to me. So if you want to win a little prize at the end of the day, right, for this particular game, I will need your full participation, okay? But if you don't want to participate, it's okay, lah, huh? No problem. Just sit along and enjoy. All right. So I just want to share with you two research that just came out. This is July, just only about 2 months ago, right? And this study studied Korean athletes, Olympic athletes, elite athletes, badminton players, and they found that when these athletes use positive self-talk, right, they found that they were more intrinsically motivated to train and work hard. So here you go, one example of high-level elite players who use this tool, this mental hack called positive self-talk. Now, not just any kind of self-talk. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this self-talk thing, okay, in a while. But I just want to share with you the science first because I want to convince you that this is a powerful tool or strategy that you can use. The other one that just recently came out too, this one was July 10th, the other one was July 14th. So all back to back. And it says this study was very interesting. One of the latest rather, that talked about the nuances of positive thinking. And this is one of the latest out there. And this study found that when the going gets tough, which is related to what you're going to be experiencing when you're doing sport and exercise, acknowledge and challenge yourself to go beyond it. So instead of saying, I'm very tired, or I can't do this, or I hate this, that's going to pull you down, drag you down. The strategy in this research they found useful for people to maintain and sustain and even push further, like cyclists, competitive cyclists, or rock climbers. They found that when they felt pain or a little bit of lactic acid and fatigue in their bodies, they were able to push beyond that, by thinking in such a way to, first of all, don't ignore that tiredness. Don't ignore it. Acknowledge it first. Okay? Acknowledge it first. And then secondly, tell yourself to go beyond it. Literally tell yourself, I can do better than this. So this study showed that when they did that, those athletes did that, they were able to actually sustain and go further and stay longer. And they were even in some other environments that was cold and a bit of discomfort on the skin, right? But they were able to sustain that. So this is a very powerful study that recently just came out that confirms that your positive self-talk improves your intrinsic motivation, which is what we're talking about today. And also, when you're at it, you can then sustain and keep yourself pushing by noticing the thoughts that you have, acknowledging it, and pushing further. Okay, so remember I told you about that little game I needed you to play with me? Well, here it comes. Now, one of the concepts for positive thoughts is that, when you have clutter in the house, like mine in the background, right? You can't put new things inside your house when you don't clear out all the bad stuff. So you need to have your house cleaning. Now I know this is only October, right? Chinese New Year or the New Year hasn't come yet, but it's a good time to start clearing out. All right. But the same goes for your thoughts. When you take out all the negative things, you can then insert with positive thoughts. So I'm going to teach you one strategy that the Olympians have used and the high-level athletes have used to be able to sustain themselves and motivate themselves. Okay? So I have 3 activities for you to participate with me, and I want you to close your eyes for a bit. Now play along with me, okay? Do exactly as I say, all right? Now I'm going to say 3 words as you listen to my voice with your eyes still closed. Follow the instructions as I say it, okay? Notice what happens, listen carefully. Notice what happens in your mind when I say these 3 words. Okay? There are going to be 3 words that will be spoken to you. Each word will be spoken twice. Here we go. First word, pen. Pen. Second word, apple. Apple. Third word, pineapple. Pineapple. Okay, open your eyes. So what happened there? I said pen, apple, and pineapple. What came into your mind? For some of us who had followed this guy, his name is Pico Taro, you may have imagined him, right? There's this really irritating song, although I kind of liked it initially. After a while, it just got annoying, right? Pico Taro was very famous globally for this cute, annoying song, right? PPAP, right? I think some of you remember. And that was, I'm sure, for some of you, it got stuck in your head, right? Or it came out in your mind as you were, thinking about what I was saying, right? Pen, apple, pineapple. And so what this exercise showed to you, proved to you, is that your mind thinks in pictures, right? So when I said pen, most likely some of you would imagine a writing pen, a pen that you use for writing, right? An apple, well, some people think of a green apple or a red apple, and a pineapple. Well, you know what a pineapple is. So if you realize that your mind probably didn't think of the word P, and although some people might, but when the other words came in, apple and pineapple, right? The word somehow created the pictures of, in images, right? And that's likely what happened for most of you. So that's one activity, and I just want to put a pause to that because I'll come back to that in a bit. Okay, so just hold on to that. But this exercise showed that your thoughts that you speak or think in your head creates pictures in the mind. Okay, but I'll come back to this thought later. I'll move on to the exercise number 2. Okay, all right. This exercise I need you to do to follow instructions also. Yeah, and I need you to do exactly as I say. Right, and this instruction will be said in a few ways, and whatever it is I say is the same message. Same message, but I want you to do exactly as I say. All right, you ready? Here we go. Do not think of a pink elephant. Stop thinking of a pink elephant. Put the pink elephant out of your mind. Stop thinking of a pink elephant. All right. Stop thinking of a pink elephant. Okay, stop there. Literally stop. Okay, what happened there? I bet you some of you thought of something pink, an elephant, or both. Yes? Likely both. And this is what happens to many of us. When we tell ourselves, don't do this or don't do that, we in fact are actually creating the image of what it is we don't want. So, for example, when you're doing some activity and you're literally feeling tired because of the fatigue or the lactic acid in your body and it's kind of burning a little bit, dull burning sensation. So some people would say to themselves, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't wanna, I want to give up." Right? So, or some even try to be positive. Right? Most people try to be positive and say things like, I'm not tired. I'm not tired." Right? But if you think about the word not tired and don't think of a pink elephant, it's the same concept. That when you tell yourself, don't be tired or I'm not tired, the image of being tired is created in your mind. Remember just now the first exercise I did with you, right? The pen, apple, pineapple. You created the pictures in your head. They were naturally, unconsciously just produced. And so when you tell yourself, I'm not tired, or don't do this, or don't screw up, don't drop the ball, do whatever, you're likely to do the same. Because the image of what you don't want was created, and then later you say don't, then your mind trying to erase it, try to erase it, but it's too late. The image of what you don't want has already been created. So example, If I say, don't think of a pink elephant, your mind will think of a pink elephant and then try not to think of it. Does it make sense to you? So unfortunately, pink elephant had appeared. And therefore, the likelihood of you making that mistake due to the image or associated with the image is much higher. Okay? So when you tell someone don't do something, chances are they would, because the image was planted. And the more you say it, the more the image pops in their head. So here's one tip. Olympic champions think positive, literally think positive in their minds, because they know that whatever things they say to themselves would create the unconscious pictures in their minds. Therefore, stay clear of that. Okay? All right. This is the third exercise that I want to do. Now, take note. This one has a prize to it. Okay? And the winner, all right, of this, okay, and SAFRA will contact you directly, is that you will win a free coaching session with one of our Tham coaches, okay, to motivate you or to inspire you and to give you ideas and tips for you to seriously want to exercise more, okay? If you're a female, we will get you a female coach. If you are a male, we'll give you a male coach. No problem, okay? All right, are you ready? So this one, I need you to get your typing fingers warmed up, okay? And here's the instructions. Instruction says, form proper grammatically correct sentences as quickly as possible. So the winner is the one who's able to do all of this quickly. All right. Now, what's going to happen in my next slide is that I will flash on the screen 5 rows of words. So 5 horizontal rows of words. Now, all these words, unfortunately, are all kind of scrambled out all over the place. So when you read from left to right, they don't sound grammatically correct. In fact, they're all jumbled up. Okay? So your job is to keep those words in those lines intact. That means those are the whole sentence there, but the words are just jumbled up, right? And you need to complete all 5 rows for this little game that we're playing. Okay? So I repeat, you're gonna be flashed onto the screen 5 rows of words. And each row you keep them intact, and your job is to descramble them and then type in the correct, grammatically correct sentences into the chat so that the first person who gives all 5 rows as one block wins the competition. I say again, we will not, I repeat, we will not accept answers that are sentence by sentence by sentence. Cannot, because otherwise it'd be difficult for us to catch, right? So the test for you is to know all your answers and then send only when you have all your 5 rows out. I mean, you're able to send it all out at the same time. So in one block. So one idea is, if you're on computer right now, type into your Word document or whatever, software, and then copy and paste it into the text chat, whatever it is, the group chat, a public chat and all that, and then send it across, right? The winner is the one who gets all 5 correct words, winning that special one coaching session. Okay? All right. Any question? Okay, I don't see. Oh, I see comments there. All right. Okay, I'll answer some of those later. Okay, Eric Lee, LOL. Okay, we'll come to you in a bit. All right, let me move on, guys. I want to give some time for. Okay, here you go. Right, send all the 5 sentences together as one block into the chat area. Everybody, quickly now. Yes, 1, 2, 3, go. Keep the rows intact. Give me grammatically correct sentences, and send it across when you're done. Quickly now. We will stop when 2 minutes is up. 2 minutes is up, or the first winner comes with the right answer, or at least throw something out to me. And as you're doing it, remember, yeah, send all your completed 5 sentences together as one block into the chat area, not row by row or sentence by sentence. All 5 sentences must be sent together. If not, disqualified. All right. We will not read single sentences. All 5 must be together in one shot. Go, quick. Waiting for the winner. Come on, guys. 1 minute's up. You got 1 more minute, quickly. Oh, Jerry, I'm so sorry. Maybe, Jerry, you just try lah. Never mind, just type it in. Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll give you a chance. Who knows? Maybe nobody else will want to answer this anyway, so good for you. You win. Come on, just type it in. Go. Jerry Chua, go. Type. Come on, guys. Quick. I can't be waiting forever, you know. Hurry up. All right, somebody with some answer. Come on, give it to me. Quick. Make my day. Come on. All right, 15 seconds. She was always for him. Always what? You have a missing word, Jerry. She was always waiting for him. Okay, quick. Any more? You got that right. Yes. Okay, that's one. Anyone else want to compete with Jerry? Come on. All right, maybe someone's typing all 5 rows now. Come on. I deleted and resent but lag. Haha. Okay. Well, looks like Jerry's the only one who sent. Maybe the rest are a bit too shy. All right, Jerry, I'll give you a prize for that. No worries. Okay, but if you had tried, maybe a little later, or not want to be embarrassed because your name might be identified in that game chat. But if you thought about this and this was your answer, well, good for you. That's the right answers. She was always worried for him. Please try to replace the old shoes. Yeah. Okay, I give you the answer already, Jerry. So you can't respond anymore. I'm sorry, but you want something. I give you a discounted price. Okay. He wore stubborn wrinkles on the face. We should not always be forgetful, and he's so dependent and helpless. Right? See, these are all grammatically correct sentences, and all the words were, initially jumbled up, and then when you kind of swapped it around, right, it makes good grammatical sense. Oh, your messages just came through. All right, I give it to you, Jerry. You're the only one who responded. The rest probably too shy. That's okay. So anyway, just for your information, this was actually part of a study that was done many years ago in the 90s, where they got people to do a language test, or at least they thought it was a language test. And what happened was that they were told to go into a room, right? But they have to walk through a passageway into this room where they will sit down, do this same test I got you to do, right? And then they will walk out of the test when they were done. However, the rows of words wasn't just so little. They had at least about, 100 or more. So it took at least an hour or so to get it done. But unknowns to all of them, they were actually recorded in terms of the time it took for them to walk in and the time it took for them to walk out. And what happened was that they found that the people who were exposed to elderly words actually walked slower after the test. So what that meant was the test actually exposed people to elderly words that literally got them walking slower. And if you look at this chart, right, this dark shaded chart where my arrow is kind of pointing, right, refers to the people who were given and exposed to elderly words. And they walk slower now. Walking slower means they take more time. More time means a higher bar, right? Compared to the other group that was a neutral group, or they were exposed to neutral words. So some of you are thinking to yourself, wait a minute, what elderly words? What are elderly words? Well, guess what? You were all exposed to elderly words. If you notice what I was flashing on the screen just now, guess what? She was always worried for him. So notice the word worried. Replace old, stubborn, wrinkles, forgetful, dependent, and helpless. In just 5 rows, there were more than 5 elderly related words. Now, can you imagine? You had 100 of these sentences, and throughout this whole hour plus, you were trying to descramble all these words, and you were exposed to elderly words, right? If you were in that group, guess what? You would have been in the dark shaded group. Now, the neutral group also took a little longer than normal, right? I mean, come on, guys. After an exam or after a test, would you be shouting for joy and running? Right? Maybe you're happy it's over, but you'd probably be tired. So therefore, when people ask me how come the white bar group, the neutral group, also took some time took longer also. Yeah, but they were well, they were faster than the dark shaded group, the elderly group. Okay, so that means that the words that these people, the elderly group that were exposed to, actually were influenced, or what we call in psychology today, primed for walking slower, for walking slower. And this is a powerful study in itself. In fact, it is a landmark study to show that your words have power. What you say to yourself and what you say to other people are really, really powerful. So in summary, these 3 little activities I wanted to put across 3 points. Number one, your mind thinks in pictures. Okay, so we showed that in the first activity, right? Your mind thinks in pictures or images. And because your mind thinks in pictures, which is the basic language of the mind, when you speak to yourself, you are creating those pictures in your head. So therefore, be very careful what you say to yourself. And here's the final tip, right? And this one, who was it who said Ken Rantalot? He says, if I'm running, can I tell myself don't stop? Well, when you say don't stop, you are imagining the word stop or imagining the sign stop. And therefore, there's a likelihood you would stop. Therefore, it would not be advisable to do that. In fact, here's the final tip. The final tip says, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So if you want to be able to sustain yourself in the activity that you're doing, well, think of things in your head that allow you to do that. Imagine things that you want to be able to do. Imagine yourself, enjoying yourself. Imagine the stride. Imagine the rhythm. Imagine, whatever it is that helps you feel positive and motivated and enjoying. Remember, enjoyment is so key to part of this to this exercise regime thing that you're trying to get into. All right. And one more quick tip, and this is a homework for you, right? And me just zoom in a little bit for you, and that is this: think about when you are exercising, and actually this can be applied to other areas in your life. Think about a moment, those times when you were thinking negatively, and in your exercise, and yeah, Ken said, "Run smooth, run easy." Those are nice phrases. So rephrase your negative thoughts if you reflect upon yourself and realize, hey, you know what? I'm saying nervous. I'm saying don't forget. Those are words that will actually impact you because they're the ones that's going to affect you. And remember the Olympic studies and the elite studies that I showed you? Positive thoughts do help you motivate yourself if you choose the right words. So be careful what you say to yourself because words have power. So convert the negative phrase words into positive words. So positive phrase words. So idea is that the intent is positive. Like when you try to tell yourself, don't do something, right? Actually, if you think about it, you're just trying to protect your conserve energy or you protect yourself in some way. But it's the phrasing that is not appropriate. That's what we're saying. The intent is positive. The intent, stick with that. Don't change the intent or what you're trying to say to yourself, but instead change the phrasing. And that is the positive phrasing that you want to have. Okay? Hope that helped you. Yes, I need to run smooth, run easy is perfectly the right one. Yes, thank you, Ken, for that commentary. All right, moving on to the third tip. Your fear of pain may be an obstacle to your ultimate performance potential. I worked in a sports medicine center. In fact, two sports medicine centers in my whole career. And I noticed that after an injury, people tend to hesitate a lot. And this is a reason why, right here. Pain, right? When you feel pain, as you're physically exercising, or even pain associated with something in the past, it is a protective mechanism. Your brain is trying to protect you from overstretching yourself. And it is finding a way to tell you, hello, stop or slow down. But a lot of times we are not injured or anything like that. Now I have to admit I have a bit of a spelling error. Injuries, injury with a ry or /res. But anyway, fear could be due to past injuries or bad experiences, right? So that means to say you had an injury in the past and now you're trying to exercise, and guess what? Your brain never forgot that. Your brain is trying to like protect you and trying to tell you, hey, don't do that because you got hurt before. That's what your brain was trying to do. So that becomes a major obstacle for you and for some people. So here's one thought. Is there an activity that you're currently doing that you seem to feel a negative association with it? Think about it in the past or reflect upon the past. Have there been cases or situations in the past where you had an injury or you had a bad experience about that activity? Guess what? Your brain never forgot that. It never forgot that. And therefore, it is reminding you of that bad experience. So one simple way to counter it, there are many ways of doing it. This is just one of many, because of this webinar, I want to keep it simple, is to take small steps so that you assure the brain, your mind, in this case, assure the mind that actually it is not dangerous, it is not harming to you, and it's okay. It's perfectly okay. So after a while, when you do a couple of times that same thing that caused you some injury or pain in the past, your brain would somehow associate with something positive or associate with something neutral at least, so that it won't have a bad memory of what you had, experienced. But I have to admit, or I have to say it, that if your experience was really bad due to some, injury or fall or something, and you may have sometimes even flashbacks and things like that, right? This one may require a little bit of help on top of that psychological support, right? But I'm talking about most of us where it's just general, simple things, and we're made to run rounds in school and we hate running because of that. I mean, that could be one example, right? And so that fear of pain, that fear of pain, that fear of potential injury because of that pain causes us to slow down and becomes an obstacle. So in this study in July this year, again, all the studies I've been sharing with you are all very recent, yeah. So they are on cutting edge. We are on cutting edge in terms of that information. Is that the fear of pain is going to be the obstacle for you in your ultimate physical performance. So when you fear that, it holds you back, and it may cause you to, not perform or play at the optimal level, right? Jerry asks, most people know the power of positive self-talk, but they just don't know how to go about doing it. That's right, Jerry. You're right. And I've just shared with you some very powerful science-backed tips. Okay? And thanks for reinforcing that, Jerry. Okay, we're basically done with our session. And I'd like to take the opportunity to answer any questions before I just put a closure to this one. Anyone has got questions, you may want to type in into the group chat. Or maybe while you're typing, I will just continue because I actually got a couple of slides to go. And one of it is basically that today is session number 2 of this Sport Matters webinar series from August to December this year. And we have successfully completed, well, I treat today as successfully completed. I'm not sure how my bosses will think, but I think I did okay. I had fun. And I hope you guys did too, and had some fun. And yeah, so we've covered 2 already. The first session, we looked at helping children perform up to potential exams. Now it's exam period for all the Singaporean kids. I'm not sure about other countries, but I'm sure it's about the same time. And SAFRA Tampines has got a recording of this webinar. You may want to scroll down and look for it. and it's still there, and you can watch it. It's an hour long worth of strategies that I talk about, and based on Olympic athletes and successful elite athletes and what do you call Navy SEALs, right? And so you can listen to that and help your child, or if you're a student yourself, you can use that. Today we covered Fit Smart. It's about using psychology of sport and exercise psychology to help you sustain an active lifestyle, especially during this COVID-19 situation, to get you on your feet and moving, and simple ways of getting there. And also, next session, we will be coming out in October. Work smart, right? Again, the focus is using sport as the metaphor, and we will be looking at successful high performance athletes and kind of extracting their strategies and teaching you how you can apply the same principles in parallel that is relevant to your workplace. Because now the businesses are all opening up, right? And employees and executives are all going back to their workplaces. Now they need to get back into the office kind of environment, and therefore some of these tips from high performing athletes hopefully will be useful to you. Okay, so that's the next session. Watch out for it on the SAFRA page. Now Tampines page, I have to admit, yeah, because it's a different not all SAFRA Facebook pages. So please like or follow SAFRA Tampines, and when they have updates and all that, you will get all those updates. Yeah, as they post these dates. We haven't fixed a date unfortunately yet. We'll set some out real soon. Okay, so watch out for that, please. And then later in the year, November thereabouts, when it's school holiday period coming, we have this topic called Kid Smart, where based on our research, we have shown and found that kids who play sport are mentally stronger, mentally tougher. We want to share with you, especially if you're a young parent and you want to give the best to your children. These are some powerful tips, and so practical also at the same time, that you can use and apply them easily with your own kids. Okay, so we'll talk more about those in the next sessions. So I hope that you guys will follow us as we move along. All right. So let me answer Ken's question. Ken said the school environment and growing up years may have built up that negative habit. And you're right, Ken. You're right, Ken. And that's sometimes the reason why a lot of us don't like the exercise, because we are reminded of the days when we had to run round the quadrangle. I remember those days. I was a bit playful when I was in school. My teacher would make me run rounds, and when I was in primary six, I was at the top floor, level 6 of my school, and I had to run down, run a few rounds, run 6 rounds, and then run back up again. I was the fittest boy in school because I was the one who was always running around during school time. But anyway, that makes me fit too. Okay, anyway, you're right, Ken, and that's also probably one reason why people sometimes, end up not liking the physical activity. Yeah, so we gotta decondition that in a way. Yeah, maybe a positive environment and people reminding and supporting them. Yes, Jerry, and you're right. In fact, getting social support is so key. So I hope that you will, use them to support you. Right, find the right people, find the right kaki, exercise or sports buddy, join some sports club or cycling club, whatever club, or special interest groups and stuff like that. They normally would be a very powerful influence, because they're the ones who will nudge you and remind you, hey, I didn't see you last week, what happened to you? Those are simple cues and motivational cues to get people to kind of do things. So that's one way of getting people involved and getting you motivated also. Yeah, thanks for the questions, guys. And let me just end up my session with a little bonus, right? I said that there was going to be a bonus at the end of the day. So here's the bonus, right? And there will be a free exercise motives profile for those of us, the audience here, who, don't know really what motivates me. Now, some can motivate me, some not so, not sure, right? I have a long list of things that motivate me, not sure. So this is a science-based, research-backed profiling tool, and it's free for you to use, right? And in it, there are 14 exercise motives. They are ranked, ordered, with the strongest at the top and the weakest at the bottom. So this profile is customized based on your responses and your interests. And Therefore, it will come out the way, like this, similar. This is just a sample, right? And then at the bottom, at the end of the general chart, you will see the, what do you call that? This descriptors. Yeah. The descriptors basically explain to you what each item means on that list so that you can then have a understanding of, okay, this is what that means and this is how I can use. So for you, if you want to be more motivated, and by the way, all audiences who are watching now, you have 24 hours to get access to it and it's free, right? Is to um, do that simple survey. And then after that, you will get an individualized report right away, immediately after you've done that. Okay. So do that. And then you will get this individualized report. Okay. And the report will give you some simple ideas about what to do in your exercise. So what does this tool cover? So let me just cover my face, right? And show you what the reasons. So all of us have got different reasons for exercising, correct? Yeah. So this profile basically identifies behavioral or psychological aspects, physical elements, social factors, and health reasons. So take a quick look at this. You will see that, you will see that there are various reasons why we're motivated. And the idea is that this profile would ask you questions about all of these, and then it will rank order these items in a list so that you know which one is the strongest and which one is the weakest. This way, you can then use it to motivate yourself even more. Also, you can use the lower ranked items to let you know what are the ones that don't motivate you. You want to stay away from those in a sense. You want to not use those perhaps. Okay. So how do you get access to this one? This is again free. You just need to enter the code. There's a special code there. My boss will copy and paste the chat onto the chat, right, for you, or you can just type it in bit.ly/SAFRA dash exercise motives with an S, because there are many factors or to motivate us. And then there's a special access code that will last for 24 hours only. So after this period is over, this code won't be able to be used, and you may have to pay for that. So it's free for attendees right now. Okay, so small n double j capital RT small x 7 small w capital R capital N and 7 2. Okay, so I hope that okay. Okay. So my boss says they will post it on the live show link. So you will get that somewhere on Facebook there. All right. Because I can't see it here right now. All right. So I hope that helps you. And yeah, if you want to know like, hey, what motivates me, I'm not really sure. I have a couple of things that I have, but I want to confirm this. Okay, good. This is a good profile for you to use to confirm what you know already is true, but you just wanted something to just double confirm, triple confirm. Okay. All right. Hopefully that um, will be of good use to you when the time comes. And so with that, I want to thank everyone for your time and spending with me. I know it's in the evening. You could have chosen to watch TV or do something else, but you've chosen to spend this 1 hour with me, and I thank you very much for being with me in spirit. Although I can't see you or know who you are, maybe later when I watch the recording of today's live show. With that, I want to thank you all, and I hope that you found something useful for yourself. Okay, and I'll see you guys on session number 3, where we will talk about the work smart strategies. Yeah, lessons and practical tips from high performance sports that's transferable to the workplace. So with that, thank you all on behalf of SAFRA. I thank you all again, and I'll see you guys on session 3. You take care. God bless. Bye bye.